Hey guys, here I have a whole chicken. Let's spatchcock it, which means removing the backbone and making it into a single flat layer. That way it cooks evenly, it increases the surface area so that we can add more seasoning and the breast will stay juicy. So let's do it. So here I'm using a sharp Serbian butcher's knife. I'm going to flip the chicken over to its back, and here you can locate the spine. I'm going to take our knife and cut all the way down on each side of the spine. That way we can remove it. I'm taking the heel of the knife, digging right into that one side of the spine, just getting right through there. And now we get the other side of the spine. And now that we've removed the spine, we can save it, put it in a freezer bag, and then keep it for stock. So now I'm gonna take our chicken, flip it back over so the breasts are pointing up. I take the thighs and I turn them inwards. That way, the drumsticks point out. You can use your palm, just press on the breastbone. That way it flattens and you'll hear a crack. And then typically when you go to cook this, you'll take the wingtips, you'll tuck them behind the breast. That way the tips don't burn in the oven. And here you can see all of our skin. You can see all of this surface area. That way we can season all of it. Typically when you roast a chicken whole, sometimes the backside gets wet, moist, and doesn't really season as well. But here everything will be exposed to the air, to the conduction. We'll get good seasoning and good browning. And this is how your spatchcock chicken should look like. So here I just have a standard baking sheet. I covered it in aluminum foil. Now I'm placing a baking rack right on top. I'm going to transfer our chicken right onto this baking rack. You can dry brine it in the fridge overnight, or you can just cook it right away, up to you. And just to keep things sanitary and clean, make sure we're washing our hands before we touch the chicken and then touch something else. And next, to make sure our skin is dry, I'm using paper towels to pat dry the chicken skin. So at this point, our chicken is ready. We can season it and cook it right away, or we can do a dry brine where we add salt, baking powder, and let it sit in the fridge for a few hours, up to overnight. That way the skin really crisps up when we cook it. So tonight I'm feeling a little impatient. I'm just going to cook it right away. I'll preheat our oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, add some oil, season it, and then we'll roast it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is add our oil and all of our seasoning into this deli container, mix it all up, and then coat our chicken. Some salt, some pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, smoked paprika, and a little bit of cayenne. Use a spoon and mix it all up. I'm gonna throw on some gloves and then just season our chicken. Now I'm just gonna rub it all in. Then make sure you get all the wing. Then get the underside of the drumstick. And finally, just tuck the wingtips back behind the breast. Okay, let's roast this thing. So once our oven is preheated to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, I'm going to roast this. It should take about 45 minutes or so. I'm going to be using a digital meat thermometer, just checking the thighs and the breast. Once the breasts reach about 160 degrees Fahrenheit, I'm going to pull the chicken out, let it rest for about 10 minutes, and that should bring the breast up to about 165 degrees Fahrenheit. While the oven preheats, I'm just going to clean all our surfaces.
There we go.
Okay, now our chicken is all cooked. It roasted for 55 minutes total. I'm gonna let it sit here and rest for about 10 minutes before I cut into it. Okay, so now that it's rested for 10 minutes, I'm going to break this chicken down. So I should be able to get about 8 pieces from it. 2 drumsticks, 2 thighs, 2 wings, then 2 breasts. The breast I'll probably cut in half, so that'll be 10 total pieces. So I'm going to use a knife that I'm pretty familiar with, just so I can see how fast I can do this. So I'm going to transfer it onto our cutting board. 3, 2, 1, go. Ooh, look how juicy that is. And time. So that was about 44 seconds. I want to show you guys how juicy this chicken is. Here's the breast. You can see how juicy and it's pretty much dripping.